All right. Are we on? Is it going? There it is. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome. Uh, what was I going to say? Completely blank to start out with. All right. Uh, very good day. Rainy day though today, but it happens. What are you gonna do? So before we get started, I just want to remind everyone. So we're going to be talking about what are you willing to sacrifice. So you're probably wondering, what is he talking about? Well, we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. And I think some people are more willing than others, and so we'll, like I said, we're going to get into that. We're going to see what we have to say. But before we get started, just to remind everybody, if we have any interruptions with the stream, but it shouldn't be any issue. Hopefully, there isn't any more. Like I said, I switched carriers, so since we started with a new carrier, I've had zero issues as far as streaming goes. So hopefully that continues. We shall see. So anyway, some really interesting information that I'm going to share with you too in this video in regards to the death of the president of Haiti. It's a very interesting coincidence. Let's just put it like that. So we'll get into that as well. Okay, but I just want to remind everybody as well that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. Just let's be kind to each other, have a good chat, and we will go from there. So before we jump into everything else, I'm going to do right early in the chat here. We're going to talk about the prepper get together. We're going to talk about we're going to be talking about what are you willing to sacrifice. That's going to be the topic. But I want to talk about the prepper get together, talk about my website, then we can just focus on other things and we'll go from there. Okay, so first of all, prepper get together is next weekend. So if you are coming into town on the Friday and you plan on staying at Greg's place, I would ask you to please shoot me an email to let me know if you're boondocking or if you're going to do tent camping. Shoot me a message, let me know. Preppernurse1 at yahoo.com. I think we're going to have a nice turnout. I think we're going to have a great time. Saturday, we will be at Sonyea American Legion, and that is Sonyea, and that's in Sonyea, New York. So it's really easy to find. So look that up, or JJ may put that information up there for you guys. On the Sunday, we're going to be at Letchworth State Park, which is going to be at the South Shelter. And I did throw some pictures of the South Shelter up on my Instagram and also on my Twitter, which is Prepper Nurse One. So check them out as well if you want to look at that. So JJ's got the American Legion up there for everybody, and Letchworth. So Letchworth, it's $10 to get in unless you are 65 or older, and then it is free. So bring your old person to Letchworth with you and get in for free. So, but yeah, very fun. So, but anyway, we're gonna have a great time. Looking forward to it. We're gonna be doing giveaways both days. We're gonna be doing a cookout both days. I will be supplying hamburgers, hot dogs, all the condiments with that, paper products. I would ask if you're coming, please bring a dish to pass. Okay, so we're just gonna have fun. It's gonna be a good time, and it's just gonna, like I said again. Now, if you're gonna be at Greg's property, I would ask please be respectful, of his property. So that would be awesome. So, because it's like, he didn't have to do it. He actually came to me and said, "Hey, why don't you have the people camp out here?" And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." So, I mean, like I said, that's really putting himself out there to do that, and I think that's very kind of him. So, anyway, looking forward to seeing everybody over that next weekend. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do a bonfire Friday night. We'll probably do one Saturday night back at Greg's place again, and then also on Sunday. So we're just going to have fun. We're just going to have a good time, and we're going to go from there. So anyway, what was I going to say? So then, okay, so now I'll talk about my website real quick, preppernurse1.com. If you go there, we have the Prepper Nurse One community, which is a resource that we set up for you guys to be able to connect with like-minded people, okay? Really easy. You do have to register to join because it is private, but no credit card information is asked. Check out the message boards. If you're looking to try to connect with somebody in your state or your country, you can find that in there. All right. Also, if you go to my website, preppernurse1.com, you will see the logo for the Forefathers, which is the CBD and hemp store. If you click on that, it will take you to their website, where if you decide to make a purchase over there, make sure when you check out, use the discount code PrepperNurse1. So do that, so you'll save 15% on your purchase over there. CBD products are a great thing to have in your preps, used for a lot of different things, and it's good to have. All right. Last thing, again, on my website, preppernurse1.com, if you go there, you will see you click on store, it'll drop down, it says Legacy Foods. It is a Legacy freeze-dried foods. What we have available is there, 25-year shelf life, GMO free, gluten options available. It is vegan. Beef and chicken can be bought separately. It is made in the USA, and only shipped in the United States. So anybody overseas, I'm sorry, you can't get it. But it's a good thing to have. You should definitely have freeze-dried foods in your long-term food preps. And they do have the largest portion size of any of the other companies that sell freeze-dried food. So that's out of the way. Real quick, one last thing. If you go to my homepage on YouTube, you will see the join button. That is for the 3 tiers that I have set up. And as of right now, we have one person is going to be in the live stream for Monday. So her and I will have a great chat, I'm sure. But so that's like the main perk for anybody that would be joining at that level. I'm going to do a live stream on Mondays at 8 o'clock just for those folks that are a member at that level. So should be fun. We're going to have a good time. It's more personal that way. And that's Pamela Sherry. Yep. So, but yeah, so it's Pamela Sherry's the only one at that level. So me and her are going to be talking away for an hour on Monday, unless somebody else gets in there as well. But like I said, it'll be fun, and we'll have a good time with that. So if you're interested in that, check that out as well. All right, so now let's get into this. What are you willing to sacrifice, and what I want people to think about? All right, so in the Marine Corps, I'm going to give you a good example. In the Marine Corps, if you go, now I was not in the Marine Corps. This was told to me by somebody who was in the Marine Corps. So any of my fellow service members, because I was in the Army, so if you are in the Marine Corps and you can verify what I'm saying is true, I would appreciate this. But what they told me was, in the chow halls, up on the wall, it is all of the Medal of Honor, not Medal of Honor, different people up there that have sacrificed themselves to save their fellow soldiers. And every single one of them that was up there was a private. So the lowest ranking guy was willing to sacrifice his life for his brothers in that combat situation. So let's see. I'm seeing if anybody else is saying. But anyway, so with that, they were sacrificed themselves. So they did the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. What I want people to think about, post-event happens, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing? See, now I'm going to tell you what, for me, and this is where I'll tell you right where I'm at. For the people in my group, for my family, I am willing to sacrifice absolutely everything. Because if it keeps them safe and it makes them live the way I look at it, I've lived most of my life. I would have no problem sacrificing myself so that they could survive. And so what do I mean by that? If they needed time to get away, to run, and they had to have, somebody left behind to fight whoever it was that was coming to do harm, that would be me. I would do that. I would have no problem doing that. That's the ultimate sacrifice, to reassure that the people that you care about survive and go on. I don't think everybody's willing to do that. Most people are just going to run. That's the reality of that, But to me, like I said, the future is not old dudes like me. The future is the young people, Heather's generation. Those are the ones that need to survive to continue to carry on in those type of things. but then they needed to be able to make it right now. You know what? They not necessarily. I believe it's not about becoming a martyr. It's not about that. That's not you see. There's the misconception. It's not done for some glorious sacrifice type of thing. You may find yourself in a situation where hard choices have to be made, and you have to do what you have to do. And so again, it's so here. Okay, I'm going to use a movie quote. In anybody that's seen them, the whole Star Wars, not Star Wars. I'm sorry, Star Trek thing. And if they remember when Spock sacrificed himself, and James he's going to die of radiation poisoning, so he's on one side of the glass. Kirk is on the other side of the glass, and he was like, "Why?" And he said, and I love this quote. He goes, "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few." And I love that quote. I've never forgot that because it was really something that people need to think about. It's not about our own selfish needs and wants. And I'm going to tell you what, I am not looking to become a martyr. I'm not looking to sacrifice myself. I want to live a long time, and I want to be around. But there may come a point where we all are going to have to make hard choices, and you have to look at yourself. And Ed, the Chow Hall story is true with one exception. Not all ones, different ranks for. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's all different ranks. Okay, I thought it was all E1s though. But yeah, but those are the guys that sacrifice themselves for everybody else. And not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody's going to be willing to do that. So again, we have to think about, in that situation, what would you do? Would you be the one willing to do that? And those are things that and don't kill off all the old people in the standoff. The young people will need that experience. Oh, I'm not saying kill off all the old people. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, if people are trying to get away, and I'm just using that as an example, and there's bad actors coming looking to hurt or take out the whole group, and they need time. They have to have time to be able to get to that state. Somebody is going to have to sacrifice. And so, and I will be honest with you, okay? Let's say that situation came up. I'm looking for an exit strategy for myself too. I'm not just going to give up and let them overrun me. I'm going to try to give my group and my people enough time to get away, and then I'm going to try to get away myself if I can. But you may not be in that position to be able to do that, and you have to be willing to make that sacrifice. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. I don't know what's in your minds. I don't know what's in your hearts. We all have to make decisions. But what I'm saying is, this is something you also need to. I think people have misconstrued what it's going to be like in a post event. Any of those movies, guys, any of the movies out there, like The Road, is just one example. You watch post-apocalyptic shows like The Walking Dead. I think it'll be worse. I think it will absolutely be worse than that, because you are going to have what people don't understand, and it's really easy to say, well, I would do this or I would do that, and whatever the case may be. But you got to understand, I do nothing but think about what could happen, what would we do, how would we do it, where would we go, all these things. I think about these things all the time. So what I'm saying is, people don't think about that because they just don't live in that world. Hey, Greg, thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you. So people don't think about what if scenarios. And I think a lot about what if scenarios. And I know the nature of man now. You look at how violent we are towards each other right now. Road rage incidents. Somebody cut me off and I'm all pissed off. So now I'm going to go up and I'm going to smash the windows out of their car. I'm going to pull them out of their car, beat them up. People are killed over that. And I'm going to tell you what, I will be honest. I have been guilty of it myself. I I'm not. I always tell people, I said, here's my fuse. That's about how long my fuse is. Okay. If I'm overtired, that's my fuse. I have no fuse. When I'm overtired, forget about it. There is no fuse. So, I have a bad temper. I will be the first to admit it. But, I'm not looking to jam somebody up, but I'm not afraid, never have been afraid in those type of situations. I've confronted a whole carload of people before by myself. Just because you got to have that mindset. And so, in a post event, what you're going to see is the absolute worst of people. We could all sit here and we can say, "Oh, I'll do this or I'll do that. I'll do this and I'll do that." And as soon, it's like what I think Mike Tyson said this. He said, "Everybody's got a plan when it comes to a fight until you get punched in the mouth." Okay, we can all have a plan, but when the time comes and it is go time, we're all going to have to react. We're all going to have to realize what we're going to need to do. And you better be ready to do what you need to do. That's what I'm trying to explain here. And it may be doing things that you don't want to do. It may be sacrificing yourself for the good of the people that you care about and love. Like I said, to me, the way I look at it is, if it's me or my daughter, it's going to be me, because I'm going to try to make sure she can survive and go on and do what she needs to do to survive. So if that means, if that means that I have to sacrifice myself, I have absolutely no problem doing that. And, but those are things, again, we don't know what it's going to be like. We can speculate. We can, think about, all right, so any of the people that are watching the stream, if any of you guys are from the city and you've been caught up in any of those riots, all right, any riotous situation where you have a big crowd, and if you've been in that crowd, people get caught up in the moment. They get caught up in the emotion. And so when things start getting crazy, a lot of times the people that you would never expect to do things that they would not normally do, because they're caught up in that moment. And that happens all the time. So in a post-event, when you add in all kinds of factors, when you add in the factor that you're starving, that you're overtired, you're not getting enough sleep, that you're cold or you're hot, whatever the temperature is, or you're soaked to the bone because it's been raining and you don't have proper gear, you are not going to be in a best mindset. And when you're overtired and you're hungry and you're, exhausted and you're uncomfortable, you're going to have no fuse. And so people are going to be turning on each other like crazy. That's one aspect of it that will definitely happen. But they're not going to be reacting the way that they normally would react. So it's just, people have to understand that. Everyone's a gangster until it's time to be a gangster. Al Capone, I believe, is the one that said that. I believe so, yes. And that's 100% right. When it's time to do what you got to do, a lot of people won't do it. But you have to also remember, how-to video says, I remember the LA riots, it was pure chaos. And that's a great example. That's a great example. You go back and, just watching the video of what was going on and the chaos, just like they just said, the chaos and the lunacy and people just acting like lunatics. That's what it would be like but then picture that, but on steroids. That's what it would be like, because you're going to have the majority of people, and we've talked about this so many times, the majority of people are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. What do you think it's going to be like 2 months into an event? There's not going to be as many people as there was at the start of this event 2 months in. I think a majority at that point, and when I say majority, I would say after 2 months, you'd be looking at about 33% of the people already at that point would be gone, just due to violence, just violence alone. Then you take the weather as a factor, and in the Northeast, because the weather is the way that it is, winter comes, By the time spring comes, any skeletons that are left, because that's what most of the majority of people would be if they survived that winter, they would be skeletons. I mean, if you read the book 1 Second After, and they talk about the first winter, they talk about the first winter that in the book, and how when they got through that first winter, of how emaciated and how many people died. That's a reality. That's a reality check that people don't think about. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad actor that takes you out. It's your own ill preparedness that takes you out, because you get into winter and you can't go nowhere and you can't go do nothing, and you maybe if you're lucky might be traveling in a 5 mile radius, maybe if you're lucky, because you're not going to be driving, because the roads are going to be impassable because of snow and stuff like that. So if you have a snowmobile, that's only going to be as good as long as the gasoline lasts. And so people need to think about those things. They really, really do, because people will be starving to death in their own homes. People will be freezing to death in their own homes in that type of a situation. So by the time that first winter's done, that's when you're going to see the population down to about 10%. And again, same type of scenario in the summertime, that people that are not prepared for that. If you live in Florida, and I'm just going to use Florida as an example, and you're used to going from your air-conditioned car to the air-conditioned building to your air-conditioned home, that's how you live down in Florida when it's summertime and it's 98 degrees and 100% humidity. I mean, that's a reality. But now all of a sudden you don't have that luxury anymore. That's going to be brutal. That's going to be, and there's no basements to go into where you can be cool. Not in Florida, So people need to think about those things, and plan accordingly. Whatever part of the country that you're in, absolutely you should be planning accordingly. So, real quick, what do we at? 750 in the chat. We're at 275 on the thumbs up, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do it to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. You can come over and say hi real quick as you were wandering through. There she is.
I'm here.
So, okay, so Five Virgins Prepper. I like that name. I agree with you 100%. Wild game will last about 3 months. And I don't even know if it would last that long, because every Joe Blow is going to be in the woods shooting everything that is moving, including each other, and fighting for that game. And the game will be gone really, really quickly. I mean, anybody that lives in the city now, and you see all the deer and everything else all the time, you wouldn't see any of that. There'd be none of it, because it'll be all gone. And they'll waste. Here's the problem too. People will waste so much of that meat because they don't know how to properly prepare it to last long term. What do you think?
I agree.
Just, All right, you leaving?
Yeah.
All right.
Nice to see all you guys.
She said, nice to see everybody. But so I have stated several times, in a post-event, we are not going to be hunters, because there will be no wild game to hunt, okay? We will be gatherers and growers. That's how we're going to survive. So the more that you can figure out how to do that now, while it is still, you have that opportunity to learn while it's not life or death. I wouldn't want to try to figure out how to do things afterwards, because now your life is in your hands. And if you, okay, so an example, in our greenhouse alone, we have 42 or 43 tomato plants just in the greenhouse, another 16 out in the raised garden bed. So we have over 50 tomato plants. We plan on doing a lot of canning this year. But if you guys remember, and I think it was my first or second year out here, I overdid with tomatoes. I grew a lot of tomatoes because my game plan was to can a lot of tomatoes that year. And some blight came in and took out my tomatoes, and I ended up, out of the majority of my garden that year was tomato plants. I think I got 2 or 3 edible tomatoes out of that entire garden that year. So I learned a real valuable lesson with that. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, number one. Now this year we have a lot of other things growing as well. Hey, East Tennessee Preparedness. Just want to thank you, Ed. You are the first prepping channel I watch and still the best. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for that statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. You know, I'm always going to be honest to a fault, guys. I say it like it is. I probably share way too much of my information, which is probably very true, especially in light of what's going on. But I don't know any other way to be. I'm just straight up. I try to show you the good, the bad, you know, and share with you, you know, what the experience is like. And, you know, we just, you know, you're always going to have people that are going to hate you. That's just a fact. That is just a fact. That's never going to change. And so it's sad but true. So what are you going to do? But oh, I know what I wanted to mention this because it was a comment again. It was made, and I didn't take this as a trollish comment. I just took it as a, oh yeah, watch this type of comment. Okay, so the person said, because everybody, well, maybe some of you know, some of you don't know. I'm 56 years old. Okay, and getting ready to start a brand new adventure down in West Virginia, and you know, and do my thing down there. Raw property, redo it all over again. And the comment was, you're pushing 60 and you're starting all over, you know, how are you going to be able to do that realistically? And I'm like, so here, I'm 25 years old up in here, okay? Always have been. But I'm in physically pretty good shape, you know. I have my aches and pains like anybody else. I think I'm in better shape than most of the people my age, you know, carrying a little extra weight, but physically I'm pretty solid. You know, I do a lot of laborious stuff around here all the time. I mean, even today, you know, Heather and I went down to town and I had to pick up more feed because of doing, you know, I was switching over the feed in the cans. And so I needed to go pick up more feed today. Well, the feed is in 50-pound bags. And I've had people say this too. Well, why don't you park over in your mom's driveway and carry it in so it's not so far? I like the challenge. It's just, for me, it's a better exercise. So I park where I park. I had 200 pounds of feed, and so I carried one at a time and brought them over to the chicken coop and put them away. But again, that to me, that's no big deal. I do that all the time. Some people can't do that. I haven't sat at a desk job my whole life and done nothing. So even what it would, you know, I'm being a nurse, I was on my feet all the time. I'm still a nurse, but, you know, I'm not working as a nurse anymore. But I was on my feet all the time, really active. And then I would, you know, I can remember saying, you know, after a weekend of doing whatever else, you know, working on whatever, I'm like, I got to go back to work so I can rest, you know. But I've always been busy. I like being busy. And so, you know, to me, I don't look at it like, oh, I'm getting too old and I can't do that. Bull crap. I might not do it as fast as somebody who's 25, but I'm going to get it done. You guys are going to be the witness to it. I always like it when people tell me, you can't do that, because my response is always, guys, always going to be the same. Watch me, because you're going to see it get done. It's not a matter of, you know, oh, I don't feel like doing that, so I'm going to quit. I don't quit. Never have, never will. So, you know, that's a great thing. Yep, Randy Romine said, if you don't use it, you lose it. My grandmother retired from when she took, you know, her retirement at 62. And my grandmother spent the next 20 years sitting at her kitchen table and drinking because she liked to drink. She was that generation. They were drinkers. And so she smoked her cigarettes and she drank her beer. And that's what she wanted to do. But to me, I'm like, you know, that's a waste. To me, that's a waste. I still want to travel. I still travel. I go different places, and I'm going to continue to do that. You know, I want that adventure. I think it's fun. To me, going down to West Virginia and starting a new adventure down there and doing it again, it's just another adventure. It's fun. My mom at 77 years old, she's like, that's fun. I'm looking forward to it. She was like, I can't wait to go down. So, you know, it's all in your mindset. It's all, if, you know, Here's the thing. So when I went into nursing school, I went to school, and there was a girl in my class that was, I think she was like 32. She had the short mom haircut. And so we were talking one day, and I think when I went back to school, what was I when I went? 29. I think it was 29. So her and I were very similar in age. And so we were talking, and the one day, and she says, "Oh, well, when I turned 30, she goes, I cut off all my hair because it was time to grow up, and I was like, who says you have to act a certain way at a certain age? Who wrote that rule? Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm a big kid. I like to joke. I like to have fun. I don't have a problem working hard. I always will work hard. But I never could understand that mentality that, oh, I have to do this because this is the age that I have to act this way. No way, never going to happen. So, don't think they aren't pushing cannibalism. Keep your eyes open. They are. Oh, I'm going to tell you what. In a post-event, cannibalism will be huge, absolutely huge, because if there's nothing else to eat, people will eat each other. Hey, Dan, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But again, you know what? We all need to evaluate ourselves. We all need to evaluate ourselves. And so sacrifice is not always just the ultimate sacrifice of you're giving your life for whatever the thing is. But what are you willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to be? When we came here, and I'm going to tell you what. So Heather and I had a discussion actually the other day. And she was like, Dad, when we first came up here, she goes, I was real resentful. She said, because, we didn't live like other people lived, and it was different. She goes, but, as I'm getting older, I look back at that now and realize how much I learned and what a difference that's going to make in my life. And I think that's what people need to really take into consideration when it comes to sacrifice. To me, I always looked at, here is the short-term problem. We'll deal with it. It'll suck for a while, but we'll get through it, and we'll get to that running water. We did not have running water here at the homestead for the first year and a half we were here. It sucked. I'm not going to lie, in any way, shape, or form. We humped water in. We took crazy showers. The way we had to shower was nuts, but we lived through it. And then when I was able to afford it, we got running water. I'm going to tell you what, the day, just even here, when we were finally able to take a hot shower at home, where you turn the water on and got the hot shower, that was a wonderful day. And you don't realize how unappreciative most people are of just regular small creature comforts until you don't have them. And so, to me, I don't have a problem with sacrificing short term for the long term goal. And that's what we did here. When we got up here, the very first thing I told my kids, and I know a lot of you have been watching for a long time, know exactly what I'm talking about. I looked at my kids and I said, okay, the first 2 weeks here are going to absolutely suck. I go, they're going to suck. I'm not lying to you. But they will get better. I said, if you trust me and know that I will make things better and things will get better. And they did. And it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen just wonderfully, bam, everything was here and it was all built up and it was good to go. No, it was a long time doing it and a lot of hard work. So, going down to West Virginia, I'm not delusional in any way to not realize what I'm walking into down there. I know exactly what I'm walking into down there. And I know it's going to be hard at times and it's going to suck, but I'm mentally ready for it. Physically, I'm in pretty good shape, I think. Other than I could lose 20 pounds more would be great. But, those things are going to happen when they happen. But I think that when, I get down there and walking the property and doing those type of things, and I plan on doing that quite a bit, I think it's going to be, it's going to be better. And somebody, Sandwich just said, you'll save so much money though, and that's the thing is when you make those sacrifices to make your life better for the long term, short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, your life does get better, and you're saving a lot of money. You know, yeah, The Stand, Bring Out Your Dead. Yeah, that was a good movie too. I like that movie. But people got to realize we're all going to have to make sacrifices, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the ultimate sacrifice. But people right now aren't willing to make sacrifices. They're not. So they look at people like me, other people that want this, have the same mindset, that want to be off grid, that want to go ahead and completely change their lives and go against the grain of what everybody else is doing. I always told people, I said, I want everything everybody else wants, but I just don't want to have to pay somebody else to get it. And that's always been my mindset. You know, I don't have a problem working, always have worked, but I want to have most of my money go back into my own pocket, not into the bank's pocket, not into the credit card company's pocket. I want it to go into my pocket. So those are things that, it's just people need to think about that. So if you're not willing to sacrifice now to make your life better longer term, what do you think it's going to be like in a post event? You know, uh, people like myself that have been doing this, there's a lot of people that actually live this type of lifestyle. The transition for us is not going to be that hard, realistically. Number one, because we're ready. That's number one. And I'm going to tell you what, there's going to be things that I would absolutely miss. Absolutely, I would miss. But you have to, you proper preparation, stops piss poor performance, realistically. So when that time comes, trying to keep things as normal as possible, as long as you possibly can, is a good thing. While other people are going through horrible things and that horrible adjustment and not realizing what to do and how to do it, you're going to be sitting pretty good because of the decisions that you have made. And that's what people need to think about. So where do we got 821 in the chat, guys? We're at 399 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel for that reason as well. So I would ask you to shoot that thumbs up for that reason too. And of course, the third reason is I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So it's part of the game. So of course, I have to say, being honest. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure that hold on. I want to get to that comment. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So Sandwich just said, you got to check out the new River Gorge National Park. When you get to West Virginia, it's a great spot for whitewater rafting, camping, fishing, hunting, etc. I was right down in that area, and that's near. Actually, let me hold on a second. I want to, because I know exactly where that is because we were right down there. It's right near Summersville, that is. And I couldn't remember the name of the town. So, but yeah, it's right down by Summersville. We were right down in that area. Unbelievably beautiful. I am like, a couple of things that I'm excited about for West Virginia. I can't wait to ride down there. I can't wait to take my bike and just go and ride down there. Hey, Dan, thank you very much again for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. So that's something that I really am excited about doing. Just exploring, and checking out the rivers, and I will absolutely go whitewater rafting. I think that would be an absolute blast. I think it would be a lot of fun. So, so are you moving out of New York? Dan is asking. So here's the game plan. I'm going to continue to maintain this property for right now. Becky and Mom are going to stay here for the time being. I'm going to go down to West Virginia. I'm going to start working on getting infrastructure and getting things set up in West Virginia. Once I close on the property, which now hopefully should be fairly quickly, what I plan on doing is going down there at that point, spending a week or two down there at that point, working on the road in. I want to make sure that that's in really good shape, so when I do get down there with the camper, that I'm going to be in much better shape. And so once I get down there, get things going, I gotta get solar set up. And I'll start with a smaller system, but I'm definitely going to, I'll tell you right now, I'm not screwing around. I'm going to go with 48-volt system right from the very get-go. So if that means I start out with one battery, that's what I'll start out with. I see. Here's the beautiful thing. If it's just me, if I'm just down here by myself, I don't need a tremendous amount of power. I don't need the lights on all the time. I don't. So I have no problem with going, all right, well, we'll sacrifice again short term for the long term gain. You know, but so I'm going to get the solar set up, a small system to start out with. I'm going to go with 400 watt panels. Hopefully, I will buy them before I head down with the camper. And if I have, you know, two, maybe three 400 watt panels ahead of time, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Get things set up, get that going, get the water set up so that I have running water. There's two springs on the property, plus there's a creek that runs through the property. So no egg count yet. We haven't done it yet. Hey, I got 4 more minutes in that window to start doing the egg count. So stay with me, and we'll get there. But again, so that's going to be, you know, and I'm going to share all of that with you guys. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, what my thoughts behind it. You know, I definitely want to have running water as soon as I possibly can. So that's going to be a priority. I definitely want. Will you be doing a similar homestead setup for the different homestead? What I plan, I'll tell you what, I don't plan on doing the tiny home thing again like I did here. I'm actually, especially because of the cost of lumber and stuff now, I'm probably going to go with concrete block is what I'm thinking as far as building that way. It's going to be more solid. It's going to be better for insulation and all those type of things. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. I don't know if I can do it in West Virginia or not, but I'd like to have a basement. So I plan on trying to see what happens. So have you seen the new Generac system? I have not. So what I may do too for up here, so before I leave, I want to get something set up for Mom and Becky so they don't have to come out, start the generator in the winter and those type of things. So have you heard of SOK lithium batteries? I just bought 5. Real Freedom Preparedness just said that. No, I hadn't. I haven't heard of those ones yet. They are upgrading stuff all the time, so that's the beautiful thing too. They're making things much more efficient. They're much better. And if you have lots of trees, get a portable sawmill and cut your own lumber. I'm going to have a lot of woods. Probably of the 25 acres, probably 20 acres is going to be woods. And I talked about that in another video of getting a portable sawmill, and I may do that as well. When did you get another camper? You got rid of the old one. The new camper, Patty, is my sister Margie's camper. So that is not my camper. I will be taking that camper down with me to West Virginia when I go. Because the goal is that eventually Margie will be down there full time, and she will be living in that camper full time once we get it down there. So yeah, the cool thing about West Virginia too, I don't have to worry about permits. I don't have to worry about permission. I can basically do what I want to do, and you know, there's a waiting list for sawmills. Oh, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. I know they have the kind too that you can use a chainsaw. So those are really small things that you can use, and you can use it that way as well. All right, so real quickly, let's do this here. I'm going to ask another thumbs up first. We're at 784. We're at 486. So let's do another push for thumbs up. Steel building in West Virginia versus concrete lumber is falling now. I don't know if I would do steel. I like the concrete, to be honest with you. I'm not sure, Austin, which way I'm going to go yet. I'm going to really have to sit down and figure it all out. Thank you very much for that question, and thank you very much for the donation as well. So again, shoot that thumbs up. Show support for the channel. Again, it really does help with the algorithm as well. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. And oh, yes, I'm going to talk about that. Let me do the egg count first, and we'll talk about the president of Haiti and that situation. I want to share that with you because I think it's really interesting. Okay, so let's do an egg count. What do you guys think that we got today for eggs here at the homestead? So I'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses up here. All right. If you had the same exact guess as John Pinto, because he was the first one that I saw that had it right, had the same guess as John Pinto with 9 eggs. We had 9 eggs today. We had 1 baby egg and 8 regular eggs. And yes, Thickneck did lay today. She laid early today, so that was good. But yep, good day for eggs. Hey, like I said, whatever they give me, and it's just a bonus as far as I'm concerned. That's the way I look at it. So, all right. So here I'm going to read this to you because I think that this was quite interesting. So let me go back to this. All right. Coincidence, possibly. I find it interesting, though. 3 countries refused the COVID vaccine. 3. Now, all 3 of their presidents have died unexpectedly of those 3 countries. In Haiti, the president was just assassinated, right? Tanzania, John Marfugi, I don't know if I'm saying that wrong, died in March of 2021. Madagascar, the president of Madagascar, also died in March of 2021. So, take it for whatever you think. I think that's it, coincidence, possibly. I find it really interesting that 3 countries would say, no, we're not going to let that happen here. We're not going to bring that in. And then all 3 of those presidents are now dead. Just interesting coincidence. Could there be more to it? There could be. I'm not doing a conspiracy theory on it. I'm just saying that it's very, very interesting. Or what was the thing again that Biden said about the situation in Haiti? Oh my God, he called it something. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is about 6 months. I like that. That's awesome. That's a great quote. Very good quote. Um, Troublesome, I think, is that what he called it, or worrisome? I think that's what he said. I think that's what he said was worrisome. The situation in Haiti was worrisome or something. So, but yeah, I thought it was very interesting that all 3 of the presidents of the countries that said no, we're not going to let that vaccine come in here, and they're all now dead. So that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, but again, like I said, I'm not reading anything into it. I saw that and I said, that's strange. And I'm sure the new presidents, whoever they will end up being, especially now in Haiti, I'm sure that they'll say, hey, yeah, bring it in, load them up. There was an article saying that the Haiti president testified in Epstein trial against the Clintons. Yeah, I heard that too, and I don't know if that was true or not. Again, it who knows? Who knows? Would it shock me? No. See, at this point, you got to realize that if you have dirt on the Clintons, you better shut up. That would be my advice to anybody. If you got any dirt, you just be like the monkey, see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. I don't know nothing. Oh yeah, the jab is big business. That's a lot of money, that the government's paying out, which means we are paying out because it's our tax dollars paying for that. And I'm so happy that we're able to give all kinds of doses to other countries. That's great, right? Don't take care of America. No, 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 no. Let's put that money into something else that we should be putting that money into. But that'll never happen. That will never happen. So, Yeah, I like that. Bryce just said nothing shocks me anymore. Me neither. I'll be honest with you. You know, it is amazing to me, and I'll talk about this for a second because I find it fascinating. You know, when people say, okay, well, with what just happened in the last year and a half, let's go with that, right? You look at what happened in the last year and a half, and before what happened in the last year and a half, people stood around and said, oh, what happened in Nazi Germany never, there's no way that would ever happen again. You know, people won't just go along to do what they're told and anything like that. No way, it'll never happen again. And it absolutely just did. People just went along and did what they were told and questioned nothing. Uh, just and ultimately, at the end of the day, any of these type of situations, follow the money. Where's the money going? Because that money's going in somebody's pocket. Somebody's getting rich off of whatever situation that is out there. People are getting rich, you know, and it always is on our backs, always on our backs. You know, I talked earlier today about the sacrifice, talking about sacrifices. All the people that went over to Iraq and Afghanistan in tour after tour, 2, 3, 4 tours for some of these, you know, ladies and gentlemen that went over there, and how psychologically damaged a lot of them are because of that situation. How some of them came back maimed. How some of them didn't come back, you know, well, they came back, but in a casket with a flag draped over it. For what? So rich people can get richer, you know? And now we just give it back, and the Taliban's rolling in there, and they're going to have it all under control again, you know? And I'm going to tell you what, I personally feel, I say bring all our troops home from all over the world. Stop being the policemen of the world. Let them all eat each other. Who cares? Let's take care of our own country. Let's take care of our own people. Let's make them. You want to make America great? We could be hugely great, hugely successful. We don't need to be the policemen in the world. We don't. It costs too many lives, and it's not worth it. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. I say bring our boys and girls home. Let's work on making our country awesome again. So, my sweet dear nephew did 3 tours and he's so messed up. I'm sorry to hear that, Pam. I really am. It's just, you know, it's easy. Again, it's easy to say, it's easy to sit back and say, well, I would do this or I'll do that or I'll do this. And realistically, none of us know. None of us know. But one thing, like I said, I know, and I'm speaking for myself and for myself only. One thing I know, that the people in my group, the people in my family, for them, I will sacrifice everything because I want to make sure that they're going to be okay, and that they're going to be safe. And I'll do what is necessary to be done so they don't have to, you know. And that's where I am with that. But I think that we should be focusing on America. We should be focusing on our infrastructure. We should be upgrading our power grid so that we don't have all the problems that we've had with our power grid and continue to have. And I think that we're going to continue to have moving forward. I think we need to work on our roads and our bridges and, you know, figuring out how to divert water where areas that have a ton of water to areas that don't. Right now we have drought out in the West, horrible drought in the West. It's unbelievable. Now we did have, I think Heather said this the other day, or Becky said it. Somebody, no, I think it was Becky that said it. She said in June, or May and June, we had 3 inches of rain in our area total. So we definitely were down. And then so far in July, not counting today, I don't even know how much we got today, but so far in July, we've already got 3 inches of rain. So we've had a lot of rain here in early part of July. We needed it. So, you know, I mean, I'm never going to be, you know, complaining about the rain. But, you know, it just, there's other parts of the country that could sure use an all-day soaking rain, you know, without a doubt. And they're not getting it. So we need to figure out, I mean, our country is so big and the resources are here. We could make this, it could be a freaking awesome paradise for everyone. It really could. Work together. Stop this stupid nonsense. And that's what drives me more crazy, guys, than anything else, is the nonsense. The I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other, I'm separate, we're special, this is my special group, that's your special group, you know. Well, I'm this religion, so you're bad because you're that religion. It's all nonsense. This political party sucks and this political party's great. No, this political party's great, that political party sucks. They all suck, okay? Politicians, at the end of the day, let me just reiterate this. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever way you follow. At the end of the day, the politicians don't give a rat's behind about you. They don't. They don't care about you. They're going to make their rich friends more rich. That's their goal. And put money in their own pocket. They don't care about us. We're nothing to them. Nothing. Where I live, the lake was closed, or the boat launch was due to the high water on the 4th. Yeah, so again, different parts of the country have been getting a lot of rain, and other parts of the country are getting no rain. And so there's only one way to stop this, and most of you already know that one day we're all going to fight these Satanists and Luciferians. Jeffrey Lane just said that. I think that eventually it would not shock me if we ended up in some kind of civil war. It wouldn't shock me at all. In no way would that shock me. At some point, people are going to finally say enough is enough is enough. And they're going to stand up and they're not going to take it anymore. But what it will be blamed on, and I see, again, I'm seeing these articles and constantly seeing these articles. It's going to be blamed on white nationalism, all this other stuff. So there was a rally, and this is what kills me. This is what absolutely kills me about this. So there was a rally they're talking about, I think it was in 2008, white supremacist rally or something. 30 or 40 of them, 30 or 40 of them showed up for this rally. They had like 120 police to protect them from the huge crowds that were against them, right? You think white nationalism and white supremacy is like this major issue in the country? Grow up, because it's not. That's being perpetuated out there in the news and in the media to keep you scared, to keep you down, to give you somebody that's the new boogeyman. That's the new boogeyman. Yep, I love this. Asif just made a great point. How do you know a politician is lying? His lips are moving. You're absolutely 100% correct. I agree with you. Double speak, they lie. Unbelievably, they lie. Thank you very much for the donation, Asif. I do appreciate that. But again, we need to be watching out for each other. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be networking, connecting, trying to team up, find a group, find people that you can work with now. Because I'm telling you, when the time comes, you're going to group up. If you want to survive whatever's coming, you will be grouping up. I would rather be in a position where I pick the group that I want to hang out with, who I want to be with. That I would rather be in that position than having to settle and say, well, yeah, I'll be part of your group, and it may not be following the tenets of what you believe and what your belief system are. So think about that. That's something to think about. But yep, left wing, right wing. Left and the right, as far as politicians goes, guys, two wings of the same bird, two sides of the same coin. All right, that's all it is. They all tell you what you want to hear. They accomplish nothing because they don't want to accomplish anything. It's just like these endless wars. We're going to be getting out of Afghanistan, and it's almost 20 years of wasting lives and wasting time for nothing at the end of the day. Well, the opium is doing great. That's awesome, right? We were killing a whole bunch of Americans with overdoses because of heroin. Boy, they kept that flowing, didn't they? I'm sure that we were, oh no, we didn't have nothing to do with that, right? Yeah, big time we had a lot to do with that. So, again, why didn't we go over there and burn every poppy field to the ground and stop that poison from coming over here and destroying our young? Why didn't that happen? Isn't that interesting? It's all done on purpose. If I can keep you pacified through narcotics, through illegal drugs, through alcohol, keeping you drunk all the time, keeping you distracted, watching. And I love to use the Kardashians because they're just useless human beings, and people can't get enough of them. Watching those type of people, watch your reality shows, keeping you busy with that, keeping you distracted, while they continue to just steal everything from us, continue to strip us of our rights. You know, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, and big pharma. Look what they look at. No, no, not millions. Oh, they're killing millions. Okay, Brian Barry just said big pharma with their opioids killing millions. Yeah, but making billions in that process. Billions, billions of dollars they made killing Americans, and they get a free pass because remember, at the end of the day, no liability, no liability. So, Ed, this is my reality show. All right, well, cool, Jen. I appreciate that. Thank you. The Kardashians have poor taste in men. Yeah, they keep showing that. Well, you know, look at their mother. She's a freaking train wreck herself. So, you know, it's sad. The whole situation is sad. You know, when people look at and look at those people. Let's be realistic. You look at people like the Kardashians. They're miserable. They're miserable. They're so unhappy. And it's so sad, realistically, to see that. They got everything, they got the world by the cajones, and they're miserably unhappy. They do nothing but complain. And, you know, but they have, essentially, if you look at it, they have it all. So, yeah, so, but, you know, it's just, happiness is not about money and power and stuff like that. You know, to me, happiness is peace of mind, being someplace where you can relax and you can feel at peace and be surrounded by people that lift you up and not bring you down. You know, that's a big part of it for me. So at 2024 fixing America STD. Oh my God, could you imagine? That is the campaign slogan. It'd be an awesome campaign slogan, though. It really would be. Oh, they were doing that. Dowell's Homestead. He says, I want to read that comment. He said, Ohio might offer free marijuana if you get the jab. Bribery still legal, right? Or still illegal, right? Well, they were doing that in New York City. If you had proved that once they made marijuana legal in New York, they were giving away free joints to people if you showed that you had had your vax. So I thought that was crazy. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I look at it and it amazes me all the time. I'm going to tell you what and it's funny too because if you look at his life, he's had a lot of tragedy in his life. But one of the most awesome people, and is an actor, and I'm going to go with an actor on this one, that I think is an awesome, down to earth human being, Keanu Reeves. And if you follow his story at all, and you see the different tragedies that he's dealt with in his life, he's still a very humble guy, very awesome, very down to earth, and so for somebody like him, I got a lot of respect for. I really do, and I like him. He's a good actor too, so that always helps too. Let's see. They were giving vaxes out in strip clubs in Vegas. Unbelievable. That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, better get permission to kill one of the king's deer. Exactly. It's all about control. All about control. At the end of the day. Oh, Mel Gibson. Yep. Yeah, that's another one. He's a decent guy. But like I said, we have so many issues, so many problems. We have probably the biggest problem that is untreated in America is the mental health issues that we have here. We have a lot of people that have a lot of issues, and so an example would be, so you have the drug addicts, right? And you want to get them help, you want them to stop. Well, it's not just dealing with the drug issue. It's finding out and dealing with the underlying issue of why they're doing drugs, what is causing them. And 9 times out of 10, realistically, it's escape. It's escape from reality because of maybe some trauma that they dealt with or are not dealing with. So they mask it with drugs and alcohol because that way it stops the pain. That could be issues as far as inner family issues, issues with the mother, issues with the father for whatever reasons and stuff like that. So instead of dealing with those issues in coming to grips with different things, they mask it with drugs and alcohol. I'm going to tell you, and I always like to use myself as an example because I think it's important to come from that angle. I was really very, very angry when I was younger. I unbelievably angry. And I had two people that I was really, really angry with. And I hated them. I mean, and I thought about them constantly, constantly. They were always on my mind, and I wanted my revenge. I wanted my revenge. And I had an uncle who's now passed away who lived in California. And unbelievably intelligent man, unbelievably intelligent. And he was a psychologist. He helped people. He did a lot of counseling. So him and I had a lot of phone conversations, and we talked a lot about a lot of different things. And what through the process of speaking with him, I realized that I was hurting myself. I wasn't hurting either one of those individuals. I was hurting myself by holding on to that hatred and holding on to that pain that I needed to let it go. So I did. And there's different ways that you can let things go. You can let it go face to face. You can let it go through a letter, or you can let it go through a phone call. However, you got to do it. And if the person's not alive anymore, you can write that letter because you got to get it out. You got to get that out. Now, I'm a face to face kind of guy. I always have been. So I went down and I confronted one person face to face to start with, knowing that I was not going to harm them. Had already made that decision that I was not going to harm them, but I was going to forgive them. And the best way to explain it for people that don't understand is I gave them my pain back. I gave it back to them. And the weirdest thing that happened after that event, after I forgave this individual and I walked away that day, I never thought about him again. Never again, because I let it go. And it was literally like somebody took this mountain that I had been carrying around on my back for all those years, that it was gone and I didn't have it anymore. And it was just such a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I went and spoke with the other gentleman, and actually the other guy and the first guy I could never be friends with. I didn't want to have anything to do with that person. But the other guy, we had I went and saw him, sat down, we talked to a lot of things, and we're friends again to this day, which is kind of bizarre, realistically. But you got to let that hatred go because it will eat you alive. And so being able to do that, and my uncle had explained to me, he said, doing what I did was very rare. Most people can't do it. But to me, it was just so empowering and so just, and I've never hated anybody since then. Now, there's been people I don't care for. I'll be honest with you. There's people I still don't care for. I just don't have anything to do with them. I'm not going to waste my time or energy on people that I don't care for. But I hate nobody. I hate nobody. And like I said, so I don't have the time or the energy to waste on people like that. So, but anyway, so it's kind of just something to share with you guys, just from my own personal experience. But like I said, it makes your life so much better when you let it go. In whatever way that you can do that for your own peace of mind. But so many people will mask that pain, and I did too. I did it with drugs and alcohol. Because if you're stoned or you're loaded, you don't think about it. You don't, and for that short period of time, who cares, right? Ever been so loaded that you go, yeah, I don't care, because you don't, because you're loaded. But what comes with that is other issues. Hey, Johnny Freedom Seed. Hey, Ed, won't be able to make it to the get together. Here's something to help with the food. Thank you very much, man. It's very, very kind of you. I really appreciate that. That's very thoughtful. And thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot. We're gonna have a great time. Really, really looking forward to the event this year. And again, guys, we're gonna make this annually. So next year we will have the third annual prepper get together, or prepper party, or whatever we want to call it. Hey, Gigi, Ed, this is not why you cannot let go of the nasty words that the trolls say to you. Thanks for all that you do. That is why. Oh, that's why you can let go of all the nasty words that the trolls say to you. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. And you're right. I mean, whatever they say about me, I don't care. I really don't care. It doesn't. I'll be honest with you. When I first got into doing YouTube, and I would get negative, nasty comments, it would really bother me. Really, really bother me. And I would be like, why? Why are they acting like that? And you have to come to a realization that some people are just a-holes. They just are. And you're never going to change people like that. They're just so miserable, and they're caught up in their own misery that they want everybody else to be as miserable as they are. And if being happy causes them physical pain, I think. I really do. So what do you think about the mortgage forgiveness ending coming July 31st? You know what? I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to do a live stream. We'll do the live stream maybe on Wednesday. We'll talk about that. I think that would be a really good topic for a live stream. So I definitely want to save that, Bryce. I think that'll be a really good topic. So I should actually write that down. I will. I'll write that down. But yeah, that would be a really good topic. So we will definitely do that. But unfortunately, like I said, you're going to always have people that hate you. So I've learned in over time, and I've got a lot thicker skin. And I'll talk about different stuff, and I laugh about it. It's like the whole shirt off thing. I laugh at that because I think it's how ridiculous that you feel that you need to impose your will or your thoughts on me that, you need to put a shirt on. No, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to do anything. So, and like I said, there's always that option of changing the channel if you don't like it. So it's a beautiful thing. So, but anyway, I just, like I said, there's dealing with issues is the only way that you're going to get better. And you need to deal with underlying issues that cause the person to have that addiction in the first place. Because if you treat the addiction and those other issues aren't addressed, why do you think so many people relapse? Because they can't handle the pain. They can't. And it doesn't make you weak. And I want you to understand that. I don't want you to think I'm coming off from that aspect. If you are in pain and you're having issues with whatever trauma or things that you had to deal with, it doesn't make you weak. It's not about being weak. It's about realizing self-awareness and saying, I want to do this for myself. It has to be about for yourself. You can be a relative of somebody and say, look, you're hurting everybody around you. Why are you doing this to everybody? But they're not in that mindset. They're about self, and that's it. They don't care about anybody else. So when people decide to make a change, that's when they do. And that's just kind of, I don't know, just sharing some thoughts. And I hope that helps. If that helped anybody, I really, I hope it did. That's, but like I said, I've had a very interesting life, a lot of highs and lows, but we just do what we can do. So real quick, I want to do some shout outs because we're running out of time really quickly here. I want to do some shout outs for some other channels. Obviously, first, I always like to use Icky Can up in Canada. Oh, and I got to tell you a statement that he made the other day. I was like, oh my God, Icky, giving away too much information. So he had ordered a new pair of boots, and people were complaining because he got it off of Amazon, and Amazon's an evil corporation, yada, yada. And he went through and he explained why he did it through Amazon, which is his own business, number one. And who is anybody to say where you should or should not get any of your products at your own business? But he was telling people that he had gone through the mire of the muck in the pig pen barefoot. And somebody said, oh, bull crap. And he says in his video, he says, well, to be honest with you, I didn't want to get mud on my pants either. He goes, so I went through the pig pen naked. And I was just like, I can just, and this guy, Icky is a great dude. He's got a big old beard. So I got that mental picture of this gentleman walking through the mud pit naked with his big old beard. Oh my God, I laugh so hard. So certain things you shouldn't put those images in people's minds, I guess. But it was very funny. But anyway, Icky Can up in Canada. JJ, if you would show the link for everybody up there, please go show him some support. Really, really good guy. Again, just honest to a fault. And I think he's awesome. So, but also there's Green Greg's. There is Pinball Preparedness. There's Gray Man Prepping. Angry Prepper down in New York City, Doug and Stacy, Southern Prepper 1, absolutely going blank. What her name is, Princess something. I can't think of what her name is off the top. I'm going absolutely blank there. But anyway, also Marfugal from Marfugal News. Adam and Dex, they're awesome as well. God, if I'm Prepper Princess, there we go. God, I couldn't think of her name for it. Saved my life there for a moment. Bjorn Andrus, yep, actually I've watched him quite a bit. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, another one. Yep, I went absolutely blank on Prepper Princess. Alaskan Granny, Alaskan Prepper, you know. So, but yeah, there's so many good channels out there. That we should all be supporting each other. So I would ask you to go, Magic Prepper out in South Dakota as well. A lot of great channels, a lot of great information. Wrangle Star, Boss of the Swamp, a couple more. So let's support each other. I think that's important. So let's really quickly, guys, because I know the time has absolutely gotten away. We're going to run over a few minutes anyway, but that happens. We are Legion because we are many. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge network of people. And the good Legion, not the bad biblical Legion. Let me just put that out there because, of course, I'll get that comment. So where is everybody from tonight? And while we're doing that, let's do another push for thumbs up. Let's hit 700 thumbs up here before we go. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do so to show support for the channel. Again, it really does help with the algorithms as well. So I thank you for that as well. We have Canandaigua, New York, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Gatlin, Pennsylvania, Beech Grove, Indiana. We have Georgia, Mesa, Arizona, Mississippi, Western New York, North Carolina, Nowhere, Oklahoma, still my favorite. Cape Cod, Ontario, Canada, Iowa, BC, Canada, Ontario, Canada, Melbourne, Australia, Turkey, Texas. We have Florida, Kansas, Central Missouri, New Zealand, very nice. Let's see, Boomer, North Carolina, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Alabama, Florida, Eastern North Carolina, North Hollywood, California, Southwest Texas, Arizona, Michigan, Apollo, Pennsylvania, Southern Maryland, Ontario, Canada, Gilbert, Arizona, Vancouver, BC, Canada, Tafford, Alabama, Lakeland, Florida. Let's see, Alabama, Roll Tide, absolutely. Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma. We have Florida again, Kansas, Hagerstown, Maryland, Texas, Ulster Park, New York, Minnesota, Germantown, Maryland, California in the desert, Kansas, Indiana, Syracuse, St. Augustine, Florida, Cleveland, Ohio, Aloha from Hawaii or Ohio, very nice, Detroit, Michigan. Let's see, Iowa, Campbell, Missouri, Saskatchewan, Canada, Prayett, Kansas, Harkin, Kentucky, Canaseraga, New York, Monroe, Michigan, Alberta, Canada, Syracuse, New York, Chicago. So again, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge network of people, huge family. We are the ones that are awake. We're the ones that can truly make a difference when the time comes. We really, truly are. So just stay positive, stay, and you're going to be just fine. Keep prepping. Don't stop prepping. Keep getting ready. So what is it? 667. So we need. Well, now we're down to 666. Woo! 666. 668 now. There we go. So 32 away, guys. Let's get up to 700 here before we jump off as far as thumbs up goes. Anyway, we are all in this together. We are, well, wait, before I do that, let me do this again real quick. I want to thank my moderators, ladies and gentlemen that moderate the channel. You guys are awesome. You do a fantastic job keeping the chat clean. So I thank you all for doing what you do. I really appreciate it. Also, I want to thank all of you for being here as well, because you guys are great as well. You guys are good people, and we have great chats. So, but that is, like I said, we're a big family. We really, truly are. So also, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. And realistically, as soon as we can realize that, then we can focus on a real problem, which is big business in the government. They keep us separated, fighting against each other over the scraps. We're never going to get together and work to fight the real problem. And that is the real problem. Not what religion you are, not what color you are, not what your political affiliation is. That's not the problem. The problem is big business in the government controlling every aspect of our lives, and it's going to do nothing but get worse moving forward because we are allowing it to happen. That's the problem. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care every day, I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. You're a good girl. All right. So anyway, also remember STD, step, think, and day. Hella, okay, I got to finish down. Good baby. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching those goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from negative people that tell you what you cannot accomplish. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. So don't listen to those people. All right? Yeah, she has bad breath. She really does. You do. I'm sorry. It's true. So, can you believe she's only 8 months? 8 months old. Look how big this freaking dog is. So, anyway, guys, I will see you all later. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow. I got to do some reviews. I have a couple things I got to review for you guys. We're going to have some awesome giveaways that I'll be sharing at the Prepper Get Together too. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I will see you all later. Now I'm getting my head licked. All right, I'll see you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. Hella. Okay, enough. And I see we hit 700, so cool. You're a nut. You're a nut, Hella.